Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Another tough day for the music industry. Ronald LaPread of the Commodores died today. Robert was a bass player for the Commodores for many years. In fact, he was an original founding member of the Commodores. And he played on all of the hit songs, fam. I'm talking about big, big hit songs. We'll come back to that in a moment. First, let's check out this article in Deadline. Ronald LaPread, the former bassist of the Commodores, has died. He was 75. On Saturday, Ronald's daughter, Soraya LaPread, announced that her father died with a statement on her Instagram story. The cause of death was not immediately made available. It is with a very heavy heart that I must announce that my father, Ronald LaPread, has passed, wrote Sayala. The New Zealand Herald, the local paper where Ronald lived for 40 years, reported that he died after a sudden medical event. Born September 4, 1950 in Florida, Ronald LaPread was one of the original Commodores when they were signed to Motown in '72, led by Lionel Richie. Quick article, the Commodores. Let's talk about the Commodores and Ronald LaPread's contribution. You know, sometimes you have to be reminded of greatness. You know, if you know the Commodores, you know. Some of you listen to Commodores daily, right? So you know. But sometimes if you take a break, you have to be reminded of greatness. The Commodores had so many hit records, and all of these records, these big hit records, well, 99% of them, Ronald actually played bass on. Easy, Brick House, 3 Times a Lady, Night Shift, Still, Just to Be Close to You, Sweet Love, Lady, You Bring Me Up, Zoom, Machine Gun, Oh No, Too Hot to Trot, Slippery When Wet, Fancy Dancer, This Is Your Life, Old Fashioned Love, Flying High, Painted Picture, Only You. That's just the top 20, fam. The Commodores had over a dozen albums out there, and I'm talking about they was clicking on all cylinders. But let me tell you this, fam. I think I love Easy, really, really, really love Easy a lot. 3 Times a Lady, God, so many great songs. Let me tell you something, family. Ronald LaPread and the Commodores are responsible for some of the greatest love songs of all time. Equally, they're responsible for one of the greatest disrespectful songs of all time. Yeah, you wanna know what it is? Sell On. Sell On is disrespectful. Let me remind you. Sell on down the line about a half a mile or so, and I don't really want to know where you're going. How you gonna tell a woman to sell on down the line about a half a mile or so, and I don't even want to know where you're going? Boy, that's cold-blooded right there, man. That is cold-blooded. And then he said this week, Captain Fam. He said, and I don't mind about the things you're gonna say, Lord. I gave all my money and my time. I know it's a shame, but I'm giving you back your name. Yeah. Yes, I'll be on my way. I won't be back to stay. I want everyone to know I'm looking for a good time. The man wanted everybody to know he back on the market and he's looking for a good. Do you understand? See, this is what y'all don't understand. Well, some of y'all understand, but this is what the rest of y'all need to understand. It ain't nothing like to bounce back to get back at an ex who done broke your heart. Somebody do you dirty. You move on with your life. You cut them off. And you enjoy life without them. Oh, fam. Because some people, they want you to be miserable. They don't want you, but they also don't want you to be happy with somebody else. You see, that's what that Sell On song did. And I know I went a little long on that, but man, I just had to go there for a moment. But Ronald played on all those songs, all of those great songs, song after song after song. Ronald LaPread was a bad, bad man. To be in a group that many years, to be on that many albums, and then also to give all of that up, because now you have to remember, he left the group in '86. So all of these years later, he has been in New Zealand. That's what, 40 years. He's been in New Zealand for 40 years. And but every now and then he would join the group when they would tour and they would stop in New Zealand. He would do some shows with the group. He would play. But man, to walk away from that, that says a lot about his character, to be able to walk away from all of that fame and money, right? Ironically, his death comes on the heels of the Commodores backing out of Donald Trump's Freedom 250 concert series. We lost another legend on the same day. On the same day, we lost Foster Sylvers. Here's a picture of Foster right here. Foster was supposed to be like the next Michael Jackson. Of course, there's only one Michael, but you can look at him and tell, they was going for that same look, that Jackson 5 type look. And Foster was the youngest of the Sylvers who had that voice and had that charisma and who could bring it, who had the talent, the overall talent. And so he became the lead on a lot of their big hits. This is a picture of Foster and Michael Jackson. You see there was some similarity there, right? And then here's a picture of Foster in later years and, his younger self. But let's check out this article on him. Foster Sylvers, the former child star whose youthful voice and magnetic stage presence helped propel the Sylvers to national fame in the 1970s, has died. He was 64. His brother Leon Sylvers III confirmed the news to YourWeb on Saturday, May 30th. According to Leon Sylvers III, Foster had been battling prostate cancer that had metastasized to other parts of his body. The loss marks the passing of one of the most recognizable members of the famed Sylvers family, whose contributions to R&B and soul and funk music helped shape an era and influence generations of artists that followed. Speaking directly to YourWeb, Leon Sylvers III confirmed that his younger brother died on May 30th. Leon also shared the first known details about Foster's health, saying the singer had been battling prostate cancer that had spread to other parts of his body. Additional details regarding his death were not immediately available. Family members are mourning the loss, and further information may be forthcoming from sister Pat Sylvers. As news of his passing spread, tributes from friends, family members, and longtime fans are expected to follow. Here's an appearance on Soul Train. I'm going to keep the music muted for copyright sake. That's him performing with his two sisters. Well, that Sylvers family was, that was a bad family. That was, the Sylvers family, I would say the Barge and the Jacksons. Those were my favorites. Well, that little youngster was getting down too. And he had that voice. He had a voice like Mike, not like Mike. It was similar, right? But that boy could get down. That boy was bad. Born on February 25th, 1962, Foster Sylvers became one of the breakout stars of the celebrated Sylvers family at an early age. His talent, charisma, and youthful energy made him an instant fan favorite during the 1970s, when the Sylvers emerged as one of the most successful family acts in popular music. Unlike many childhood performers whose careers faded quickly, Foster became a recognizable figure in Black music during a period when R&B and soul were experiencing enormous commercial and cultural growth. His work as both a solo artist and member of the Sylvers introduced him to audiences across the country and established him as one of the era's most memorable young entertainers. The Sylvers earned acclaim for their distinctive blend of soul, funk, and pop, becoming one of the most defining family groups of the 1970s. Beyond their commercial success, the family's impact extended throughout the music industry. Several members went on to become respected songwriters, producers, and creative forces whose influence reached far beyond their own recordings. The group's catalog continues to be celebrated by longtime fans and discovered by younger generations exploring the roots of contemporary R&B and funk. For many listeners, Foster remained one of the most visible and beloved faces associated with that legacy. Foster's death marks another painful chapter for the renowned musical family. His brother Edmund Sylvers died in 2004 following a battle with lung cancer, making Foster the second Sylvers sibling known to have died from a cancer-related illness. The family's contributions to American music remain significant, but their story has also been marked by personal loss and perseverance. For those who grew up listening to the Sylvers, Foster's death represents the loss of a performer whose voice became part of the soundtrack of a generation. At press time, no funeral arrangements or memorial plans have been announced. Fam, this is once again a reminder that people who made that type of music and even grew up on that type of music are checking out. So, man, live life to the fullest. Appreciate people while they're here. Don't wait till people die and be like, oh yeah, nah, I remember. Don't try to do the Betty right on them when they die. Like, show love. 64 is young. That's young. Hell, 75 is young. I know people who are 75 years old that are in good shape. 75 today ain't what it was when I was growing up. If you were 75 when I was growing up, you were probably decrepit, barely could walk and stuff, Today, you got 75-year-olds running marathons. Yeah. And 64, come on now, fam. That is a young 64. Another reminder that we got to take care of ourselves, right? Take care of ourselves and take care of each other. And, make sure you give people their flowers while they can smell them, right? R.I.P. Foster Sylvers, R.I.P. Ronald LaPread. No more talk.